In the previous episode, we get visited by hyenas in camp, explore the roads of the Moremi, and begin the adventure to Savuti Campsites.
So what a day it's been. The adventure has truly begun.
Day 12 on our adventure, and we begin this episode in the Savuti Campsite as we are joined by our good mate Mark. The last phase of this adventure sees us driving from the Savuti in the Chobe National Park up to Kasane, and then the majestic salt flats of the Magadichadi Pans. The remaining full-length trip would give us a total of 3,000 kilometers on a round trip to some of the more wilder places in Botswana. Enjoy the magic as I take you on what surely is a wild adventure. Starting this episode and beginning to worry about Mark not arriving at camp during the day, we head out and search for him around the rather large Savuti campsites. He finally pulls in way after the national park's curfews. Relieved to finally have Mark join us, and after a braai, we gather around the fire and catch up, eager to explore the area in the morning.
What's the bird life like here?
It's amazing, hey? There's something I've learned on this trip. I didn't ever knew this, but there's a thing called a Crested Hornbill, and it's actually fairly unique to this area.
Cut.
But he lets me carry on, bro. Do you understand that? Because he's puzzling it out in his mind.
I thought this was a joke from last night.
So a crowned hornbill, and apparently it's fairly unique to this area in Botswana. And the bird life here is amazing. You can hear, just listen. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Morning. So we are driving the Savuti channel. Right now we are running alongside what's called the Bushman Hill. We stopped off at a Baobab viewing point, basically a point where you can get out of your vehicle, and a nice cup of coffee and some rusks with the gents. And now we're entering the Savuti channel again and driving up it to see what we can see. It's been a great trip this morning. We haven't seen too much in the way of big game. We've seen some plains game, impala, giraffe, wildebeest, and the such. But yeah, just an easy drive Look, the sand at Savuti is fairly thick in some places where there's been a lot of activity, vehicles driving, you know, obviously churns up the Kalahari sands. And for those points, I would suggest, if you're not too sure if you can make it in 4 high, then obviously drop to 4 low. But we've had no issues. Obviously, we've got all of our tires at acceptable tire pressures. And yeah, just enjoying the drive. But what a fantastic trip it's been, hey? Savuti, wow, it's just different in every way and means. And it's actually quite busy. There are a lot of tourists here, a lot of overlanders, and yeah, just magic, absolutely magic. Just not what I was expecting, to be honest, but enjoying every minute of it.
The Savuti is a harsh and desolate landscape that plays host to some key features, namely the Magikwe Sand Ridge, the Mababi Depression, the Savuti Marsh, the rocky outcrops or koppies, and the Savuti Channel. The Savuti is renowned as one of Africa's big game areas. It borders the Delta to the west and the Chobe National Park to the east. The Savuti is visited for its wildlife gatherings along the Savuti Channel during the wetter months, which flows in from the Chobi River and into the Mababi Depression. Being renowned for the predator viewing and Big Five, the Savuti is also a host to a large array of migratory birds and the impressive aerial gatherings of the Quelea during the months of April. Normally a dry and arid scrub and sandveld area, the Savuti becomes a lush green paradise during the rainy season, where elephants line up to drink at the various water pans that surround the area.
So old Ed and Mark asked Chris and myself to join them. It's amazing, you can just basically see the whole of Savuti down below. It's quite a tough drive up here, 4 low engaged and a lot of rocky sections, and the grass being so tall just makes it quite difficult to see where the rocks are. But a 4x4 challenge, that's for sure. Always lekker to access 4 low. But we're up here now, and we're just getting some pics and some visuals for you guys. Check this out. Okay, so we've just done Harvey Hill in the Savuti, which is quite a rocky outcrop or hill, and the route up was quite steep, but on the way down we didn't seem to have any problems. Quite nice to do a level 3 close to a level 4 obstacle, 4x4 obstacle in the Savuti. I don't really know, the views are amazing, so is it worth it? Yes, but please make sure if you do that, just lower your tire pressures and engage 4 low. Just take it nice and slow on the way up. Rocks are sharp, so hopefully you've got a good set of all-terrain tires with a strong sidewall. But in saying that, all 3 of us made it up there no problem. The sun is shining right in my direction. so excuse the blowout of the image. But yeah, now we're making our way to the pans to go and do a little bit of wildlife or game viewing, and let's see what we see. Absolutely magic to be in the Savuti, doing what we're doing. Fantastic, really enjoying it.
Some gem squash grenades. Consists of a sort of a deep pipped gem squash. As you can see, we've taken all the pips out just with a knife. We've cut a hexagon here, taking the pips out just with a teaspoon, and then we take some sweet corn, a bit of cheese, some pepper, put it inside here, wrap it up in some tin foil, let it cook away on the fire.
Magic, man.
Now that we've sort of de-pipped the gem squashes, we're going to take a mixture of a bit of just normal sweet corn, some cheese and a bit of pepper, and you just spoon it in until the gem squash is nice and full. This is a big gem squash. And then you just close it with the lid, make sure it fits nicely. So there we go. And voila, put on the fire. Okay, last step is to cook them on some hot coals. Keep turning them every now and then, and by the time you finish frying, they should be cooked.
You have to wake everyone up this morning.
I did. You were a bit quiet this morning.
First one out though.
First one out. Chris was already awake, but Ed didn't know if it was Monday or Sunday. But now that we're all awake, at least we can get going and see some game.
Yeah, it's amazing, eh? We've got the crowned hornbill, we've got the grey hornbill, we've got the yellow-billed and the red-billed hornbill. And yesterday we saw ground hornbills. So yeah, it's just amazing, hey? Pearl-spotted owl, barred owl. We had hyenas in the camp last night. Man, it is just awesome here at Savuti. It's completely different to Moremi with the habitat that surrounds. I think we're going to head towards a Baobab Forest, or we're going to try and find it. and it should be a great day. But the camping here at Savuti is some of the best you'll ever find in Botswana. With the hornbill?
Yeah, I went straight for the fire.
Not even he can clean that bride root.
Good morning. It is unfortunately our last day at Savuti. Tomorrow we pack up and we make our way up to Chobe. It's 168 kilometers of what we're hoping to be a fairly easy drive on the cut line. We're on a game drive now where we've made coffees and got everything together. It's a little bit of a mission in the mornings. Still groggy, waking up and trying to get those coffees sorted out. So yeah, an interesting night though. However, we've got this lone hyena that only walks into camp when we're all sleeping, and it seems to be after the water. I don't know why, but wherever we do our wash up, hands, pots and pans, any excess water that falls on the ground, it seems to go to those spots. Maybe it's the smell of food in the water that it's attracted to, but it was scuffing up the dirt as it, trying to find where the source of that smell comes from. I got quite close to my trailer, so I had to hit the side wall of the canvas to spook it, and I think I did that. But yeah, we're on a game drive now and looking forward to what the Savuti is all about. Time to fill up. Yeah, I think SKL Savuti has got a really nice ablution block. And what they've done is to protect it from the elephants. They've got a massive boma made out of concrete, bollards and walls. And I'll show you that now. Another thing to remember about the Savuti is it's absolutely wild. The cars down below, I think the wall is about a 2.3 meter high solid concrete wall. The wildlife here can be very dangerous. You have lions walking through camp, elephants too. So just remember that if you are going to go to the ablution facilities early morning, early evening and in the dark, remember to always use your vehicle. I use my vehicle regardless, just because the sand is so thick, no one's getting away in a hurry. So just be cautious, be vigilant and be wary. You are in the wild and things can happen. Okay, I just wanted to show you something. So the Kalahari sand here in the Savuti gets very thick very quickly with all the vehicle activity that happens around the campsites. The soil is so thin and very dusty if traveling at speed. So just remember, if you are going to be driving around, always access 4 high and just keep that vehicle, the momentum up, and make sure you have traction with a lowered tire pressure and you should be fine. But this is just here at the ablution block. We face these sandy conditions all over the park. So yeah, try and have fun though, enjoy it, and low and slow, as much momentum as is necessary. Okay, this is an interesting one. We've just come to the Baobab Forest. We're at the Savuti Game Reserve, and I don't know, it's about 3:45, maybe 4:30 in the afternoon, and I'm seated in a baobab tree that's been absolutely destroyed by elephants. It's halfway gorged. That means half tree is alive and half the tree's gone. A tree like this has a lot of water in its fibrous trunks, and that's what the elephants come to in the dry season. But what a spot this is. There's about 15 baobab trees. I don't know how they got here. They're all on a rocky outcrop, and it is just simply something else. We drove through a Mopani low-lying forest to get here. Not too far from Harvey Pan. Not much game en route, as the bush is very, very thick. But when you get to a place like this, it just becomes something else. You can feel the history, as it were. And with baobab trees, I absolutely find them so serene. It's a special moment and a special place. If you come out to the Savuti, this is definitely a spot you want to pop by and spend a couple of minutes with these trees and just enjoy the wild. Just special. The sun is beginning to set and it's very hot, eh? Very, very hot, but absolutely enjoying the moment with the guys. Okay, good morning. So we are on our way from Savuti to Chobi. We've got 93 kilometers to go, and then we turn off onto another cut line. We're currently doing the A33 Transit Road, and it says very sandy, deep sand on the tracks for Africa. It's not too bad. We're towing the trailer. We packed them up this morning and we left at about 9 o'clock. It's been an absolutely fantastic adventure thus far. We're driving about 20-25 kilometers an hour. There's a lot of corrugation and there isn't that much thick sand, so just remember to always engage 4 high and just take it nice and easy. Hopefully you've got your tire pressures low, 1.6 in the front, 1.8 in the back, and you should be good. If towing, just take it easy. There's a lot of undulations in the road. We should be there at about 12:30 in the afternoon. That could extend though. We've been driving an hour and we've just done under 20 kilometers. The first part of that cut line was not really too bad, makes for slow going. However, the road now has opened up quite nice, and it's hard packed sand with gravel, so things should speed up. I see we've got 80 kilometers to go, and then we turn right. At that stage we don't have too far to go to get to Kasane. So yeah, the drive is going nice. We just stopped to get some nice photos. There's a really nice hill on the right, and yeah, just enjoying the journey. I think the hill is called Khahoro or something like that. Khahoro Hill. So the trip, how has the trip been thus far? Look, listen, we didn't see too much at Savuti in the way of big game, you know, lions, buffalo, the stuff that I'm looking forward to seeing. However, it's not always about seeing and spotting the big game. Look, you know, when in Africa, it's always hit and miss, as I've said before. It's always a hit and miss with the wildlife scenario. But the Savuti is an absolutely spectacular place in terms of visual. You've got all these big granite koppies or rocky outcrops that are dotted around this greater Savuti area, and the big game is there. You know, I just think that we traveled the wrong lines, as it were, yesterday. Some of our neighbors, they saw a big herd of buffalo, 4 big elephant bulls down at the waterhole, and caught a glimpse of a leopard. So it is there. I mean, we just, you know, you just got to work a little bit harder, maybe at trying to spot them, and hopefully things line up. The trip thus far though has been spectacular in every way. It's so nice to have Mark join in on the trio. He brought a whole lot of supplies. You know, we are day 12, I believe. We're day 12 in on this journey, and it's always nice just to get a restock. So, and also fantastic to have Mark with us in campsite. But there's a gate up front. The road has become absolutely slow going. Such a workout on both machine and trailer, as well as driver. There are a lot of whoop-de-whoops. I think that's what you'd call them. They're just constant. So your vehicle is oscillating. Your vehicle is oscillating all the time, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it's become a real workout. Slow going. Have you ever seen anyone that looks more comfy than this? Apparently he's had his nails done, his pedicure, massage on the chair, and he's even watching Pirates of the Caribbean on the iPad.
So yeah, we got a slash in the tire. I think it's probably a Mupani stump. You can see he's still on the farm and I haven't been on. Sorry, it's too early in the morning for this shit.
It's a baby bottle, Jack, that one.
Got a bigger one in the trailer.
What are we going to do for the next 4 hours? We'll just change the time.
Yep.
So we're going on a boat cruise, which is absolutely fantastic. I've done it in the past. It was brilliant, next level, absolutely magical. So we're just going to meet up with an independent boat driver because the lodge is quite expensive, and we're just navigating ourselves to Spa now, Kasane, and then onwards march to the boat drive, I believe. Let's keep fingers crossed everything goes smoothly. Gee, you took us down. It's extremely uncomfortable. The most uncomfortable ride. Sorry.
At the moment we're heading east on the Chobi River, just waiting for them to grab our park fees or our park licenses, and I just thought I'd give you guys a bit of a heads up on why I'm on this trip. So I met Ed, Ryan and Christoph a couple of years ago when they were staying at Matamba, and we got along really well, and we were instant friends essentially. And they invited me on this trip a while ago, and unfortunately I was busy with work, and then my work got cancelled. So I decided I'll come up and meet the guys halfway on their trip, and it's been awesome spending time with like-minded people in the bush. It's really, really great to be with people that appreciate the bush, love camping, and understand what they're doing here. And I can't wait to spend the rest of the trip with them, and hopefully we'll do a couple more trips in the future.
Okay, so on the Chobe, especially on the waterfront here, don't expect to see any rhinos. Because of poaching, our last rhinos, they were relocated in 1993 to the Kama Rhino Sanctuary. That's where they are in captivity.
We are literally maybe 50 centimeters, 60 centimeters from a 3-meter croc. Nile crocodile. Look at this.
Reevaluate.
The Chobi River is the northernmost boundary of the Chobi National Park. This river is a great gathering area for large herds of buffalo and elephant during the drier months. The Chobi National Park was proclaimed a wildlife reserve in 1968, and it covers an impressive area of 11,700 square kilometers. The Chobi River receives its waters from the Angolan highlands northwest during the months of November to January and serves as a migrational route during these seasonal fluctuations between the Savuti Marsh and the Chobi River. A sunset cruise is a definite must-do activity for any adventurer. And as the sun begins to dazzle the skies in reds and oranges on our way back, we come across a sighting that left an impression on the group that I will never forget. Simply put, magic.
We have just finished off with cherry safaris. I highly recommend it, even better than from the lodge. You get to bring your own cooler box, and the nice thing is, if you get G, absolutely fantastic. Stay tuned in for some magic scenes from the next episode. Big thank you to my Patreon supporters, helping me get out on the next adventure. Sign up to Patreon, link in the write-up down below.